Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm PokeStrive, thrilled to have you here today. Whether you're a returning viewer or new, we're embarking on a Pokemon journey together. From gameplay strategies to news updates, we explore it all. Today, we're delving into team building intricacies with a curated list of top 5 compositions. Crafting the perfect team blends strategy, synergy, and creativity. Each composition offers versatility, power, and resilience, catering to every trainer. We'll dissect strengths, weaknesses, optimal movesets, and strategies. Whether a seasoned competitor or newcomer, this list elevates gameplay. So, grab your Pokeballs, sharpen strategies, and let's discover the top 5 team compositions in Pokemon. In team number 1, we have Jungle Cinderace. Top lane, it's going to be Alolan Ninetales with Snorlax Eldegoss support and Lucario all-rounder bot lane. Now let's talk about why we have everybody in these roles. Jungle Cinderace is something that is kind of very strong in the higher tier of play, and the reason being is because Cinderace is a very strong hyper carry in my opinion. Cinderace is the actually strongest best character in the game. I think it's kind of being overshadowed by like discussions about Gengar and Zeraora and stuff, but Cinderace is actually like the best character in the game, and I think second to Cinderace is Aldegas. Actually. And it's pretty. That's what Cinderace is capable of doing from the jungle, just by being fed a lot of EXP and getting that hyper carry as big as possible. As for the top lane, we have a low on Ninetales with Snorlax. It's just a really tough lane to deal with. Alolan Ninetales brings so much to the team in terms of SP damage, supported likeness in nature. CC is strong, a Unite move or ultimate, and Snorlax does the same. Very sporty, very tanky. The best tank in the front line. I don't think I replaced him in the tank role on this whole list, so you'll get to see what I'm thinking there. And now let's go ahead and look at the bot lane. For the bot lane, we have Lucario, who is the most versatile all-arounder, the best all-rounder to put into it, Elaine. And we have a perfect lane partner in that of Eldegoss, because Eldegoss will be able to heal him up because he is going to take a little bit more damage than maybe a ranged attacker, but he has so much mobility, so much burst. Lucario is definitely someone that you want in some of your team comps, especially if you want an all-rounder in the comp and you want it in the lane, because oh my goodness gracious, the other all-rounders in lane are not very good, and Lucario is amazing. So there you have that one. Alright, let's go ahead and dive into team comp number 2. We have the same thing. I'm going to swap it up, so don't. Team number 2, be too crazy. Cinderace in the jungle, we have Kramer. Snorlax top lane, with a bot lane of Eldegoss and Slowbro. This team comp is essentially like protect the backline comp. We have a very hard and kind of like a slower, like harder to kill bot lane with that of Lego Slowbro. They're basically just going to be there to get the experience. This is a kind of late game team comp, I guess you could say, because it's really like focusing on getting Jungle Cinderace a lot of XP, focusing on keeping Kramer Ant alive with a very strong front line. I really think that the goal of this team comp is to play around that Kramer Antle to really have that strong annoying front line and let Cinderella's just burn everybody down, while the god Snorlax and Slowbro are all doing what they can to support these two attackers. Alright, team comp number 3. This is going to be a fun one for me because I really love all-rounders, and this is the team comp that leans into the all-rounders. So we have Jungle Machamp. Team number 3. And let's talk about Jungle Champ, one of the better junglers in the game. In my opinion, he gets outshined because of synergies, but he's just so incredibly amazing. He gets his suppression very, very quickly. His gank potential is insane. He scales into late game amazingly. He has a lot of dive potential. Because he can use the cross strike, I think is what it's called. And he can use suppression to run at the enemy back line and really put in a lot of damage. Now, pair that with Lucario, you've got a lot of dive potential. There's some all-arounder dive comp looking things here. Snorlax and Elder Gas. Obviously, just insane Pokemon to use, and then you have that strong hyper carry of Cinderace, but it's coming out of the top lane, so not quite as fed with Jungle EXP, but still very, very relevant, very strong in lane. And this is just a bit more of a healthier team without running double tank, but still a lot of backline potential with this team comp. Alright, let's go ahead and move into team number 4. This is like super experimental. And we'll talk about it. Jungle Charizard. Team number 4 is not as bad as people think it is. I am a firm believer of that. I think even after they fixed the muscle band bug, which I guess is supposedly it's supposed to be like a nerf, because it was activating too much. Jungle Charizard still really good. His clear is insane. He's very, very bursty in terms of his clear. And he is the thing I'm doing here is I'm building a much more literal dive comp too. So that's the whole point of this one Cinder race. And Snorlax top lane, same thing. You want that strong tank, you want that strong hyper carry. Elder Goss, the best support in the game, brings heals, brings a lot of longevity in fights, is a light. It's able to keep people alive. And then we have Zero Aura in the lane. Now here's the thing between Zera and Charizard. Which one would I rather have in a lane? Personally, I guess you could swap it up if it's your preference. But I kind of think Zeraora does better. In a lane you can get Volt Switch, you can be someone that can poke really well, you can dive, and you can get things done with Zeraora. I think especially with the help of Lagos in a bot lane. But Charizard, I don't know, his landing is just not great. It's kind of hard to pull off, and yeah, I don't know. I think that Zeraora might actually have a little bit better time than the other thing about it is putting Charizard in the jungle will get him to his level 9 faster, and everybody that knows anything about Charizard should know that level 9 is insane. So as far as team fighting goes with this comp, I really do see this as a really ridiculous backline dive comp, I did the all-arounder dive comp kind of. But this one is, Charizard, you use this as a Unite move, flies over the top and end targets the enemy Cinderace or the enemy Crammer at the enemy Ninetales, whoever he can burn down, and then Sarah or dives and maybe to the entire team and blows up as many people as he can, and does a ton of damage in the back line as well. So I kind of really see this is a hard dive comp. I would love to see what this looks like in really constructed play. Alright, let's last but not least move into team number 5, the last on this list. And like I said, I'm theory cracked in these builds. I'm trying to come up with some fun stuff. There's definitely a bit of a set point that you can see with Snorlax Elegance taking up the list. And we're gonna see that here with team number 5, but this one's very different. We have Jungle Jengar. Team number 5. Top lane Gardevoir, Snorlax, Eldegas. And bot lane with slow bro, so we're doing that and that same kind of like. Protect the Kramer and thing, but I wanted to go for an AoE comp. This comp I think that this comp would struggle. Early game a little bit. This might be a team comp that is literally playing to win like one. Zapdos fight, I don't know, but the thought behind it is that you have this double front line, this double tank front line to protect Gardevoir. And she's so very squishy, she's so easy to kill. So you really do need something like that in a sense, or I think that this could definitely help her. Give the healing of Elder Goss, I mean. You know how this works, Snorlax and Elder Goss are insane. But we have Gengar, so what is Gengar? Here for me he is good. I don't actually think he's like super top tier, he's just really good. And like a solo queue environment he can put out a lot of damage, but the way I see this team fight happening is like Snorlax or slow bro, it's gonna set up enough of like a front line and enough of like some initiation and CC that Gardevoir will be able to drop her ultimate, and then I just see the sludge like this. The sludge hex spam with Gardevoir like abilities popping like even if you caught like 2 people in that they would just die instantly, I think. And I think that would be really fun to see. This is a team comp that I like. I was just thinking of, and I would love to see this executed on, even if it was just in like a pub game with friends. I would love to see this comp executed on, because I think that the end game fight potential end of this team comp would be absolutely ridiculous. So there you guys have it, my top 5 team comps that are just kind of like theory crafted. Some have been played that I know of, and I just wanted to kind of move it around and shift it around. The craziest thing is that, like, objectively speaking, there are some things that just can't move Snorlax. Eldergos. Absolutely insane. Cinderace jungle again. Very they are very kind of crazy, but as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. I want to know what kind of team like theory craft some team comps, you know what I mean. And if you like one of these, tell me what you think about it. If you would shift some things around, I think that'd be really cool. So thank you guys again for spending your time here on the channel. Drop a like and subscribe for future Pokemon Unite content. But again, as always, be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.